My name is Chiara Cruciati. I'm a journalist and I work for the Italian newspaper Il Manifesto. It's a leftist newspaper founded 55 years ago. And since 2 years, I'm also the deputy editor-in-chief and I cover the Middle East area. Actually, since I'm back in Italy, but also before when I was living in Palestine, I was using like my experience, the connection that I have with this place to let Palestinian voices be heard here. So I participate in the past and also now to different kind of activities, mainly debates and talks and initiative that involves the Palestinian speaker. And now I'm just full-time working. So yeah, I collaborate with different organizations, but I'm not a member of them. And just like helping them in finding realities there or people they can invite here or have talk with or create even connection, for example, in sports or cultural activities. That is one of the main things that, especially in the Italian reality, is always a feature of Italian solidarity with the Palestinian people. So especially in the last 20 years during the second intifada and after, a lot of Italian grassroots organization or movements, social spaces, NGOs, other kind of like informal organization, they work together for common projects. So in this way, we managed to take this network together for a long time, because it's not just like going and coming back, but trying to build a bridge that working here and working there and sharing experience. So it's not just this idea of going there and teach to people how they have to resist, but trying to build together things. Let's say this, like for its history and also I think for its geographic position, Italy since the 60, 70 of the last century has a special relation with Palestine. I'm talking about parties, especially the leftist party. They always had a relation that sometimes goes even, far, just the diplomacy. So they have really good relations, and there are also cases of armed group they work together in the 70s and the 80s. Then, like after Oslo, this kind of political approach start to decline. So mainly between the first intifada and the second intifada, it was this kind of solidarity network or friendship. It was built by grassroots movements and organizations, so far from the institutional or party politics. It was something that is always part of the leftist identity here. But I have to say that in the last, before October 7, in the last years was coming a bit down. So there was less attention, and in the idea that the situation was so quiet that it was so almost solved. So it was quite hard in the last years to talk about Palestine because people, they don't see it in the news, and it started to decline. October 7 restart everything up, also because people, they already have connection there. So it was quite easy to rebuild it. About the BDS, actually after the call in 2005, in few time was created BDS Italy, and it worked immediately quite well, especially focusing on campaign. Of course, they did the work on the general boycott products and so on, but especially in the last years, I think that they had success in try to focus the attention of the people on special and targeted campaign. So, for example, now it's very easy to not find, for example, Teva in a pharmacy. It happens a lot of times to me when I go to a pharmacy and I ask for medicine. Is the pharmacist itself asking me, do you want Teva or not? So, for example, this one, it worked very well. And with Carrefour also, it worked very well. It's not easy. Italy is very big and it's not so, there are a lot of people they don't even know. But I think in the target campaign, they did a very good job. Now, about the boycott campaign, that in few time, especially after October 7, of course, but also before, there are hundreds and hundreds, I think thousands of activities. They supply area that is a campaign created by the BDS in Italy. Supply means, I will translate it roughly, a space free from the Israeli apartheid-free zone. Actually, now there are really a lot, like libraries, shops, cultural center. So also this one worked quite well. If I have to say, like before October 7, as I said before, it was hard because people, they don't have enough attention on the topic. So it seems that you are talking about something very, very far from you. Now the main difficulties are the Italian government repression. That is not just visible in the streets when there are demonstrations and police trying to block demonstration or protests and so on, but we witnessed a very strong mediatic campaign against the so-called Propal movement. They were accused on everything. They were accused of being anti-Semitic, of being linked to Hamas, of being paid by Hamas. So especially in the first year, since the start of the genocide, it was very difficult because you are immediately defined like that. And I have to say that the media, the mainstream media, they had big responsibilities because they were talking about people just, demonstrating their dissent as they were, I don't know, the hell. And somehow they cover then the repression that the government did. But like with the time, the situation changed a lot because more and more people, they join the demonstration, they join the movement, they join, even if they don't go in the street, you can see the atmosphere is completely different. And so this is one thing. And the other thing that another obstacle that we faced, especially at the beginning, it was that we were divided. There were a lot of different movements and with the same idea and the same approach, but maybe one small tiny difference. So it was hard to put everybody together. I think this is the reason why we saw huge demonstration just 2 years after the start of the genocide. There were really thousands of initiatives, but always few people because everyone is going with their group. But it seems now that kind of overcome this division, and we'll see if we can keep it. I think that Palestine now more than ever, even if it was like this since the beginning, is a paradigm of what is going on in the Palestinian issue. You can see all the elements that put together, they are the symbol and the tools of the injustice. Capitalism, colonialism, patriarchy, the line of color. What's going on in Palestine, I think, is the extreme form that the capitalism can reach, physically eliminating the people you think they are in a surplus people. It happened in Palestine with a genocide, but it's happening in all of our society with the marginalized categories that they can be put outside of the political, social, economic life because of their ethnicity, religion, or their social economic background. So there we can see it in the full scale, but it's going on everywhere. So I think that fight for Palestine, fight together with Palestine is a way also to fight in our society. Maybe before we have to free ourselves, and then we can really help also overcome the occupation.